Hello, everyone. My name is Norgoz, and this is the War of the Vision news. We're getting some new units, Lasswell, Glaciela, and Lareila, and we're also getting a new event. I'm going to talk a little bit about the units, a little bit about the event, and we will kind of breeze through the remaining amount of the news as well. So, reminder for tonight: tonight's maintenance is going to be a few hours before the reset. So keep in mind, this is your last day to get in any of the Trial of Reckoning quests, event stuff that you need to do. I myself, after this, I'm going to be burning through all the boss tickets that I have left over. So we have Lasswell, Tranquil Spirit, Lasswell, Knight of Grand Shell, Samurai Dragoon. He has some good things going for him. He can deal some really high damage, but where his weakness is, he's limited to his range. He does have high burst damage. He's an ice slash chainer and debuffer. He's got high accuracy, attack, defense penetration, and agility. His agility, I think, is mid-60s. And he has really good critical hit rate as well. He has 22 critical hit rate on his ability board, which makes it very nice. But again, he has low range. He does show his limit burst, and it does show Blade Flash Awaken, but the majority of his other abilities are very, very limited or point-blank range. So that's where he's kind of he has a weakness. But Barrage is going to help you have a barrier that'll not negate damage one time. Blade Flash is going to be a three square away. Ice resistance, a debuff, and he has his Azure Sky, raises his own defense penetration substantially, and then deals large damage to targets within range when they cross AE a few squares away. So that's quite nice. But the majority of his abilities, again, he can deal really high burst damage with his. He does get a single turn buff that increases his attack by about 100% at max level, and his defense penetration as well. So that's something that's going to help you deal a lot of damage against tanks or anybody who has a little bit of defense. That's going to help you negate some of that defense and deal a lot of damage as well. So that's going to be quite nice for a single target burst. But his weakness is in regards to his lack of tools to hit from range. The Samurai can kind of help make up for that. Dragoon can kind of help make up for that a little bit. However, in his primary kit, it is slightly lacking in that department. Glaciela, that doesn't mean that he's a bad attacker, by the way. He's a good attacker. You have to work around his weaknesses. Glaciela has Valkyrie, Monk, Ninja. So these two units introduce two brand new jobs to the table. Valkyries, for those of you who are familiar with Norse mythology, know that if you are a fallen warrior on the battlefield, the Valkyries have been said to come down and lift your spirit into the great halls of Valhalla, where you will drink mead and fight and fall every day for the rest of eternity, which sounds amazing, right? I mean, I'm pumped about that. So Glaciela, absolutely have to have her in my back pocket. Oh, pocket Valkyrie. I'm all set, right? So here we go. So we got ourselves a Valkyrie Drive. This is her main thing, and I'm going to start with this. So Valkyrie Drive is the center as to why she's such, in my opinion, why is one of the big things that make her such a great unit. Regarded by some players and the JP side as one of the best attackers, and this, I believe, is a big part of that. It raises her damage limit. It deals damage. It deals large damage. It's piercing, ends a chain if it's at least 5, but increases the chain effect by a substantial amount. So she's going to be dealing a very, very, very large amount of damage. She's going to be the first true chain finisher unit that we get in War of the Visions. And I've used this term before. However, this is what I had in mind when it comes to a chain finisher, someone who deals a substantially large damage that can overcome that damage cap. This is it. So while she does have a weakness in her water type, that is also in some regards as her strength, because we have Delita and Rain in the world now, and she's going to do a pretty good job, I think, against both of them. So she also does get a little bit of mobility in terms of leaping strike. It does jump to a different panel and does a cross AE 3 panels across in all different ways. It's quite nice to have, to be able to not just move that to that space, but remember, you can move before. I'd imagine you can move before or after this, so you can be pretty mobile around the map when you need to be. So that's gonna be pretty nice for her. But going back to her limit burst, imagine a burst skill doing high burst damage. I know it's a crazy concept, right? So again, that's the Valkyrie Drive is such a very, very good ability. And she's also going to get a sure hit ability, surefire burst, large damage, high crit chance, and piercing, and guaranteed hit. So think Knee Breaker from the Vikings, more damage, with the crit, but with a chance to crit, and basically can mix launch, knee breaker, and add more damage, guaranteed hit, and piercing, and that's this. So she combines multiple abilities in one with more damage. So that's quite a substantial, quite a very nice ability that to have in your arsenal. Now she has high attack, very high defense penetration. She has the mobility with her jump and her movements and whatnot. She has good crit hit with a decent crit hit with 13 in her on her ability board. Again, I mentioned the weakness of the water type because Orlando's still out there. We just got the Coral Sword. He's still going to be floating around in PvP. I fully expect him to be around for a while yet. He's just such a very, very strong unit. He just deals out so much damage, even without defense penetration. He's still, in my opinion, a very viable unit to use in many different ways. She does have an insane chain finisher, and she does have slash resist on her master ability, so she can be somewhat tanky in that regard. So that's Glaciela, and I definitely do want her. Let me know who you're gonna be pulling for. And then there's Lareila, of course. As you guys know, for some reason, all of the wind units I love. I love all of the wind units. I want all of the wind units. I want them all. And Lareila's no exception to that. She has high crit, and I've always dreamed of a high crit build. She has 50 crit in her master ability. She has 16 crit on her board. So she, by default, has 66 crit rate. Her dexterity and luck are both around 200 as well. And so she does have, I think she had a drawback as well as her agility isn't super high. And she does have she doesn't have very large damage modifiers as a ranger, but she does get a large damage modifier as a Viking subjob because she does get full body blow. So she could be able to do a decent amount of damage with a big crit on that as a chain, in the middle of a chain perhaps. But at that point, you're probably going to run into a damage cap issue. So it depends on how you want to look at her kit. If you want to look at that strength being really good, because it might make her nothing more than mediocre because her attack is not super, super high. But she does get some attack bonusing abilities. She's got a variety of support abilities supporting various parts of her kit, different damage types, HP, attack, various different things, debuff resistance, a ton of different things that she has as support abilities. So she can be somewhat, you can utilize those in various different situations. Knight subjob is going to give you access to the agility break. So if you need somebody to do that can also deal some damage, she is going to have that for her as well. Though her weakness is going to be that she does not have really any true chain potential. I know I mentioned her dealing damage in a chain, and while dealing damage in a chain is not the same as trying to build up chains, she has absolutely no chain potential because she only has single hit target attacks between all three of her job categories. So that's going to be her main weakness, aside from not having a huge amount of attack. But the crit kind of makes up for that a little bit. It can also help her with building AP, because some regular attacks that do crit does get additional IP points. So we are going to get some limited hard quests for both Lasswell and Glaciela. If you pull those early, you can get probably up to 50 shards. Is usually what they do. And of course right here it shows up to 50 shards. And then there's going to be a JP bonus during this week as well. That's going to be really good to have for those units. Vision Aura consumption bonuses. Glaciela is going to be added here. It's going to be rotated in. Very, very good time to burn through some Vision Aura if you want to get those shards. That said, again, we do have some events coming up in the near future. I believe it's 14 returns. Expected around the 1st of November. And then about a month after that, we're expecting the Final Fantasy IV event. And that's where we're going to see Cecil, Kain, and Rosa. Again, we always have this debate. Is it Cecil or Cecil? Let me know in the comments. But that's what's coming up here in the near future. So things to take into consideration on whether or not you want to pull for these units. So I don't think these will be added to the last few free pulls, but if they are, that's going to be great. There's some mock guild battles coming in. It's going to be a guild map change, piercing attack up, and this is what it looks like. It's a very large map, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out in guild battles. We have an event called Goga and Saiga Part 1, so we're going to see the ability to get some metal exchange shops, some materials for Lareila, Glaciela, and I'm sure I've said Lareila. I don't know how you want to pronounce it. Let me know in the comments below how you guys pronounce it. Once you complete all of those, you get the X quest for the Ice Lance and the Rune Bow, both respectable weapons in their own rights. Then you have, again, you can redeem the medals for materials of various types. The secret book rewards quest. I feel like they could have combined this. That's why I always when I get to this part, I always kind of like, oh, wait, they've already mentioned the materials, you know what I mean? So it's kind of doubling down on it. Secret book reward quest. Here we go. Some more materials and more refinement books right here, which you can get. I would usually try and farm these when you can. They come out, about every month or so usually. So if you don't get them now, you can always get them later. Weekly campaigns. The one I'm going to point out is the login bonus is going to give you King Burst and Armor Pots on day 3 and 4 respectively. So keep this in mind. Don't miss out on those. Those are really, really nice to have. I'm really, really close to maxing out Agrius' TMR, so I'm trying to get as many armor pots as I can. JP and item drop double up campaign for the story missions. This is one of the greatest ways that you can level up your units. Getting both JP, getting some double up on your item drops. Strategically utilize where you're going to be finding, all of your items and whatnot. There's going to be some missions that'll have, oh, well, I need this and I need this. Use this time to get your um, item drops and JP. And for some reason, I know I mentioned like XP. I think I might have said XP double up. It's JP double up. Just to be clear, it's JP only, not XP. Just the items and the JP are doubled. So it's going to be a good chance to get some items and JP while leveling your characters. So remember, maintenance starts tonight a few hours before the reset. So these are your last few hours to get together and finish up the Trials of Reckoning event. I know that's what I'm going to be doing. I have a ton of boss tickets that I'm going to be burning through to finish everything out. So I got 813 of these tickets that I got to get going on and burn through them. As you can see, I don't have a high enough score to even get any rewards right now. So go to the event details to get all your rewards. Don't miss out on all that stuff. And that's going to just about do it for today. Let me know in the comments, are you pulling for Lasswell, Glaciela? Are you going to skip this entirely and save for the Final Fantasy collaborations coming up in the next couple months? My name is Norgoz, and I'm probably going to be saving for Final Fantasy IV. Although the Final Fantasy XIV new card coming out, that one I want to get, and I want to max it out. So I don't know how I'm going to pull all this off, because as you can see, I burnt through a ton of Vision Ore getting that Fenrir card. So we will see how that plans out. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.